Excited to play Tennessee this weekend. It's not like the schedule lightens up a little bit. You open up league play with two legitimate top 5 teams, and you think you might get to catch your breath a little bit. But, a top 10 team rolling in and watching Tennessee on video, very worthy of that ranking. Really refreshing to watch them play. They have good players, but they're just like good in every area. It starts on the mound. They have 3 starting pitchers that throw a ton of strikes, 3 guys that pound the strike zone with multiple pitches, 2 older kids in the bullpen. Sean Hunley and Redmond Walsh have been there forever. But you got 2 guys at the back end that have thrown had a ton of SEC appearances. They defend the field at a really high level, and they got some length to their lineup. They've got some speed. They can impact the ball. They're just good in every area. And from what you can tell on video, they look like they have strong intangibles. They've been in a bunch of close games and they find ways to win and just look like a really competitive group. So Tennessee doesn't give you anything. You have to go earn it. You have to go take it. They're not going to hit you. They're not going to walk you. They're going to play catch in the infield. We're going to have to get some big hits, some 2-out RBIs, and we're going to have to make pitches to get them out. Be another really, really good challenge for us. Kind of start also with an injury update. I know a lot of people are asking about some guys, and we've been really beat up. We've had more than our share of injuries as of late, but Connor Prelip's actually had a good week to this point. He won't pitch this weekend, but has made some progress, which is really positive. Antoine Jean has been battling some tendonitis, and we held him out last weekend. It'll be closer to the weekend before we know if he's going to start on Sunday or not. He's not far away, and it's that balance of do we kind of battle through something or make sure that he's truly good to go, knowing that we've got 7 more league weekends after this weekend. So it'll probably be Friday or Saturday before we know about him being available for Sunday or not. Chase Lee will pitch this weekend, which is obviously a really good thing. Positionally, I mentioned in one of the post games, TJ Reeves was medically cleared last weekend, but it was a little unfair to him to play him. He just hadn't done enough prep work to really be at 100% from a, effectiveness standpoint. But he swung the bat this week and he feels good and got some live sim game at bats yesterday. So he should be closer to 100% from a performance standpoint this weekend, and he'll be in the lineup. William Hammader had strained an oblique, and he's been swinging the bat the last couple of days, has made some really good progress. Kind of unique, he actually strained his left oblique throwing, and he's a left-handed hitter, right-handed thrower. So he'll be available to swing the bat before he'll be available to play defense, and we're certainly hopeful that he can pinch hit or DH this weekend. I think those are kind of the main guys. So anyway, you guys have any questions about the upcoming weekend?
Go ahead with your questions, guys.
Hey, Coach, I know you said that Prelip won't be pitching this weekend, but is there a formal timeline at all for when he might make his return, especially given the progress he's had over this past week?
Yeah, unfortunately, there's not, Joe. And we're not, I hate being so vague. It's just with a pitcher, until they throw with more intent and more effort, there's such a big difference between playing catch, between really stretching it out to 200 plus feet, then adding the stress of getting on the mound and spinning the ball. Until they get closer to that, you can't really put a timetable on it. So, the best I can tell you is without trying to be evasive, is that he's made some real progress in his rehab this week. But, is he 2 weeks or 4 weeks away? Still kind of hard to say at this point. But he absolutely will not pitch this weekend. And, we'll just kind of keep evaluating it as we move forward.
And Dylan, of course, who's here on the call, has had some, speaking to you, Coach, he's had some solid starts in place of Prelip. What are your thoughts on his performance so far, having to kind of really become the new ace pitcher with Prelip sideline?
Yeah, Dylan's been better than solid. I mean, he's been outstanding, and it's been huge for our team. Every time out, once Dylan got his pitch count built up. I mean, every time out, he's pitched into the sixth inning, which is what you have to have out of the starter. You got to have a guy get to the sixth inning and give your team a chance to win. And he's done that. And we haven't scored on Saturdays. Feel bad for Dylan. You know, he's a great teammate and team guy, and he's not worried about his record. But golly, man, like when a starter, when Rossi and Dylan and some of those guys that go out and pitch their butts off, you want them to get rewarded for it, you know, individually, and those guys haven't to you know, considering how well that they've pitched. So he's been big for us, and I'm not surprised. He's very talented, and you know, I would suspect that he'll continue to pitch well for us and even get better as the season progresses.
Thank you.
Coach, you talked about the Tennessee pitching, and you talked last week a little bit about how Alabama's power can help it get into these big games against big teams. Do you think power is the way to beat this Tennessee pitching, or is it more of a finesse approach that's going to get the bats going against the Vols?
Well, I would like to be able to score in multiple ways. You know, to this point, especially in league play, we just haven't strung enough together. You know, when we're hitting home runs, there's nobody on base, and we're not stringing multiple hits together. And you know, part of that, we've seen some really high level pitching, some really high end pitching, and we're younger than everybody else that we're playing positionally. So there's a lot of variables that go into it. You know, what you'd like to see is have 3 or 4 or 5 guys string together some really tough at bats, whether they get on base or get hits or not, really make the pitcher work to get them out. And then maybe somebody whacks a double or a homer with 1 or 2 guys on base. You know, that's how you hope that it goes. Until we start doing that consistently, you know, if you've really paid attention, you've seen us kind of try to create more action. We've done more, you know, safety bunting or even sack bunting or hit and run, stealing bases. We've done a lot more of that in the last 2 or 3 weeks than we did early on. And that's probably not truly our personnel, but, you know, me from running the offense, I'm trying to stimulate and create a little bit more and kind of pushing the envelope for what really makes sense, because we haven't been stringing those hits together. So I think as you have this young group get some SEC experience, and you get William Hamiter in there consistently, you get TJ Reeves going, hopefully we get more production out of Prater and Drew Williamson. Those guys have done it at this level. They're not doing it right now. But I think you get all those things going, then, you know, we certainly have a chance for it to be noticeably better offensively. I would love to just sit back over there at third base and clap and just let us string together home runs, you know, but that's not where we are right now.
And then how big is it? You're going through all of these injuries and having to get people ready, but for both the pitching staff and the lineup, how big is it to have everyone get experience in this season moving forward as you get further and further in the season?
Yeah, you know, I hate harping on the injury thing, because that's just part of sports, you know, and nobody's going to feel sorry for you. You know, but it's factual. You know, I think you take any team in the country, whether it's Arkansas or Vanderbilt or whoever, and you take away, hey, you're going into a conference weekend and 3 of your top 6 pitchers aren't going to pitch, and maybe your 2-hole or 6-hole hitter aren't going to play. Like it looks a lot different. No matter how good your depth is, the guys that are being put in different roles, they just haven't been in those roles, and it's just different. So, you know, you don't have time to feel sorry for yourself, and the opponent certainly isn't. And the way you have to look at it without losing your mind, without saying like, golly, man, we're really close. If we were at full strength and maybe being 3-3, you know, but we're not. The way you have to look at it is, you know, some of these guys that are getting opportunity or having, you know, bigger roles than maybe they would have, they're growing, and maybe that can help the team collectively on the back part of the season, right? So the perfect example is Andrew Pinckney. Andrew had not done enough in the fall or the preseason to warrant getting tremendous opportunity. And he just hadn't. Anybody on the team would tell you that. You know, he's somebody we liked and this and that, but like he just, to that point, for over a 6-month period, like other guys had performed better. And, he was very patient and waited his time. And unfortunately, he got opportunity. And what has he done, man? He was ready and he took advantage of it, and he's done a nice job. And if TJ Reeves hadn't gotten hurt, would Andrew be where he is right now? So maybe by the time we get to May and you got TJ going, Andrew's going to be a much better player in May, the way things have transpired, than he would have been otherwise. So that's the only way you can look at it without losing your mind, and you get Connor Prelip back at some point, and, Antoine will be back at some point and very soon, whether it's this weekend or next weekend, you would assume. So some of these other guys have had extended outings or pitched on league weekends. Now, maybe their outings are shorter on the weekends, or maybe they're simply pitching midweek against, non-top 15 teams. And now everything, looks better and looks different. And it's a lot easier to have that viewpoint on a Wednesday than it is, in the sixth inning on Saturday, right?
Yep. Thanks, Coach.
You bet.
Got a couple of questions for Peyton. First of all, Peyton, what do the hitters have to do to kind of match what Bo was talking about a few minutes ago, making sure you are able to string together some rallies and really create a lot of action against the opponent?
Yeah, I think we just, as a group, we just need to have better at bats, 1 through 9, everybody. I think it just starts with going up there, being confident, going up there, knowing you can do it like we're supposed to go out there and do, and just string together, get at bats, get hits, get hit by pitch, walk, whatever it takes, get on base so we can work as an offense and just score and help our pitchers out.
And then for you as well at second base, you get to watch Dylan pitch from a pretty cool angle. Just what is Dylan working with? What are you seeing when he's on the mound?
Yeah, it's fun playing defense behind a guy that's pounding the strike zone and throwing more than one pitch for a strike like Dylan is. He's got pretty gross stuff. You can just tell that from any part of the field that you're on. So just playing behind him, knowing he's going to pound the zone, and you don't have to be lackadaisical out there. You're going to get the ball. It's a good feeling for sure.
And then for Dylan, I'll ask you, what's the learning curve been like? You've been having the success in non-conference play, now facing some SEC lineups 2 or 3 times through the order. What's that adjustment been like?
Pretty much my focus level has improved as I've gotten older. I felt like, this fall and this spring was really big facing our hitters and going through, the season, like before the season, preparing me mentally and physically with Coach Price and what JJ had planned for me. I feel my focus level has taken off, and my repertoire and my pitches gotten better.
Kind of going off of that, Dylan, how would you assess your start to this season? You started 3-3, but 2 of those losses, were by 2 runs or less. And on top of that, is there any added pressure with all the injuries that you guys have been experiencing lately, both on the pitching staff and in the lineup?
Not really. My job is to go out there and perform either way it goes. I can only control what I can control. My job is to go out there and give us a great start and just have fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got one more for Peyton. You've been at second for a while now. Are you comfortable at second, and is that where you think you're going to be for at least the rest of the season?
Yeah, I'm definitely comfortable at second base. Kind of grew up playing infield, catcher, and all. I'm really comfortable playing there. I'm comfortable moving around and doing all that stuff. But yeah, I think second base is like where I fit best right now for myself and for the team. So I just hope to contribute to the team that way and be as good as I can defensively anywhere they put me. But right now, just second base, yeah.